What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new series Supacell. Let's rock this. I know, there are too many superhero contents out there. It's getting out of control. This genre has become saturated. Everybody under the sun wants to do their own take. It just never ends. So yeah, if you are sick and tired of another superhero show, I don't blame you. But if you have some curiosity left in you, maybe you're like, okay, fine, I'll go watch another one. Then I highly recommend this show Supacell because I have already watched it and it is fascinating to say the least. British rapper turned filmmaker, appropriately stage name Rapman, is the guy who brought you this latest one, and he puts his own spin to superheroes by setting the story in South London and highlighting the housing projects, the street gangs, the working class poor, while also addressing issues of prejudice and racism. And you know what? This whole thing kind of reminds me of that 2011 movie, Attack the Block. Remember that one? Minus the comedy, of course, because Supacell leans heavier on the action drama. But what I'm getting at is, I really like Supacell. This show has its own flavor that makes it familiar but not too familiar. It takes the superhero origin story to a gritty underworld in which the characters actually don't deserve their powers because most of them use their powers for selfish criminal reasons. This show is bold and gripping and enjoyable. Created, showrun, and directed by Rapman, Supacell is about a group of 5 ordinary people who unexpectedly develop superpowers. They have little in common except for one thing: they are all black South Londoners. It is down to one man, Michael, to bring them all together in order to save the woman he loves. Starring Tosin Cole as Michael, Nadine Mills as Sabrina, Eric Kofi Abrefa as Andre, Calvin Demba as Rodney, Josh Tedeku as Taser, and Eddie Marsan as Ray. My only criticism and what keeps this show from getting a perfect score is that even though the pacing is great, 4 episodes in and we still don't know much about the villains and their secret prison. Rapman gives us glimpses and teases every now and then about the going-ons in that facility, but the extent of that threat is often reduced to just brief shots of scientists experimenting on subjects and CCTV cameras observing from a distance, again and again and again. I want to know more about them, but sometimes the show isn't giving us more information, at least not at the rate that I'd like them to. That said, I really enjoy the character developments and the performances by the cast ensemble. The visual effects are simple yet effective. You see, when it comes to their powers, they really are nothing new. You know, the usual suspects: super strength, telekinesis, teleportation, time travel, which is why I said earlier familiar but not too familiar, because the powers are textbook material. So it's the characters' struggles and motivations that make this show unique. What really drew me in is seeing Michael go through difficulties of getting the band together because each and every one of them is only looking out for themselves. So Rapman does a fine job of mapping out their gradual journeys of eventually joining forces in a grounded, melancholic, and imaginative manner. This show is very, very British, with tons of street British slang. I had to watch it with the subtitles on just to catch some of those peculiar jargons, but the dialogues sound like real people talking, which is great. And if you are into British hip-hop, there are some guest appearances on this show that will get you geeking out for sure. Hip-hop music definitely influences and helps drive the story forward on this show. And the use of specialized RE35 camera that works well with black skin or darker skin tone is also a part of this show's biggest appeals. So yeah, overall I give Supacell the rating of 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, it's another superhero show, but one that has a slight edge of urban kick to it, which separates itself from the rest. I really want to see where the story goes from here, So hopefully it would get a follow-up season. Fingers crossed.